So here we have a question, and question goes like function x is equal to minus x plus 6 square root of x plus 16 minus 5, where negative 16 is also than or equal to x, and x is lesser or equal to 0. Find the range of f of x. So this is our question. It's basically giving us the domain of x for an expression that we were given. So this is the expression of the function. We were given the domain of x. That means the kind of inputs we can really put onto that function. And we were being asked regarding the range of x. That means the kind of outputs we can get out of that function. That's how the question goes. So how we can tackle a question like this? It depends on the type of expression that we were given. If you were given something like, let's say, x square plus x minus x or something like that, the approach is usually simple. We just have to complete the square root. So if it's something like x square plus 2x minus 6, we can write the whole thing as considering these two terms, x square, so it's x plus 2x, so it should be just 1 whole square. So this kind of an expression would be x square plus x plus minus 6. So we have to subtract 7 from that, so it's minus 7. So we have to do something like this to create an expression like this in a square completed form. Now, that's the case when the expression is in a quadratic form, where the highest power is 2. But the kind of an expression that we were given is not like that. We were given an expression with a square root, with an explicit domain such that whatever the expression that's within that square root, it's not going to be a negative number. Because if it is negative 16, it will just become a 0. If it is 0, it will still become 16 square, which is 4. So it will still always be a positive number. That's the kind of a case we are exploring now. With that being said, what we can do here to actually find out the range, we are going to use the same technique of the quadratic expression. What we are going to do, we have square root of x plus 60. We are going to assume it as a specific unknown variable. Let's assume it will be as t. If it is t, t square would be equal to x plus 60. Then f of x is equal to negative x plus 6 square root of x plus 16 minus 5 could be rewritten as this whole expression as if x plus 16 is t square root of x plus 16 is t. So this is basically 6t. Then if you consider the rest of the terms, it's negative x minus 5. So how you can create it from this expression? First of all, x plus 16 is t square, means negative x. If we want a negative x, we have to multiply the whole expression by negative 1. So we get negative x minus 16 is equal to minus t square. But still, here you have a negative x, here you have a negative x, but here you have a negative 5, here you have a negative 16. So we have to add plus 9 to both of the sides to create that plus 11 for both of the sides to create that negative 5. So you add so, and you get this expression as you see. So here you get a negative t square plus 11. So you can write the whole expression as negative t square plus 16 plus 11. So we were able to come up until this one. We were able to rewrite the whole expression in this one. So what is the range of an expression like negative t square plus 60 plus 11? Again, if you were to find out the range, it's always an intelligent idea to complete the square root. So we can take the negative out of it and write t square plus minus 16 minus 11 then the negative. So to do the completing square, consider it's at t square, then we have a negative 60. So if it is a 60, when you complete the square, obviously it's negative 6. So you divide by 2 and you get 3 when you complete the square. So negative t minus 3. So t minus 3. So you know when you do the t minus 3 square, you get t square minus 60 plus 9. What do you have? You have negative 11. So what you have to do, you have to subtract 20 from both of the sides. So you can write the whole expression like this. So that is the function that we can write here. So what we can do from this point onwards, we were able to write the whole expression like this. So what is the range of this expression? To get the minimum value or the maximum value, whatever, you can see when you set this whole expression to t minus 3 square to be 0, you get a 20. Because if it is 0, 0 minus 20 is minus 20, minus 20 times minus is 20. When you try to grow, when you try to make it as large as possible, given we assume t to be square root of x plus 16, and we know x can be only from negative 16 to 0, we know when it's negative 16, t is basically 0. So when t is equal to 0, that's 1. But if we want to make this t minus 3 whole square as 0, t should be equal to 3. So when t should be equal to 3, x plus 16 is equal to 3 means x plus 16 should be equal to 9. X should be equal to negative 7, which is very much in the range. So it's a very feasible value to plug in to get the output we need. So it's very valid. That's fine. Now we are going to see the other extreme. So we were able to just diminish the value of it. We know t minus 3 square is anyway is going to be a positive number. So to get the least value of this, we were able to set it up to 0. So that gives us a particular value, which was positive 20. That's fine. What if we try to take it to the other extreme? What if we try to make t minus 3 square as large as possible? So if t minus 3 square should be as large as possible, given t is large as possible, we need to consider what is the range x can know. First, we know the range, the kind of value t minus 3 square could have is based on the kind of value t minus 3 could have. And the kind of value t minus 3 could have, it is based on the kind of value x could have, as it's given. So x could be either from negative, x could be negative 16 or x could be 0. It could be anywhere in between. And it was negative 9 for a particular case. So we can put x to be 0. So if x is 0, t is equal to 4. So x is 0, that gives us t is equal to 4. So when we do the substitution of t here, we got t minus 3 square, which is 4 minus 3 square, which is 1. So we get something like 1. So when you put the 1 here, you get minus 1 minus 20, which gives you something like 19 value, which is all fine, which is not bad, but still you already got a 20 value, right? So it's kind of feels on. It's not going to be like there is an option. We have an option like it's going to be lesser than 20, larger than 19. That kind of option is there, but we have to be a little bit careful. What I mean by being careful, we have tested one extreme, right? We have tested the extreme of letting t be as large, being the x be as large as possible. So we let x to be as large as possible, and we test how the t changes with that, and we substitute the t, and we found the function. Now let's make the x as small as possible. So we know x could be negative 16, right? So if x could be negative 16, t is basically 0. So t is basically 0. If we do the substitution here, 0 minus 3 square is 9 square. 0 minus 3 is negative 3, negative 3 square 9. So if you take the 9 and put it here, 9 minus 20 minus 11, and minus 11 times negativity is 11. So you get a 11 value. When you see again, yes, you have the 20 option paired up with 11 here. So that would be the answer of this specific question.